Alright, we've got the one package. The one package. Rule them all. So, first up, we've got Black Clover. This would be a limited edition something. Push past your limit with season 4 edition filled with mana. Is this the entirety of season 4? Is this season 4 part something? I mean, I got a limited edition version, obviously. Regions A and B, I can see that right there. The Funimation sticker is already getting a little sticky. What in the world am I trying to do? I guess first we're taking this off. I'm looking at other obvious things such as English dub. This looks like your more standard Black Clover volume, but this is a little more folded than usual. Blu-ray 1, Blu-ray 2, Blu-ray 3, DVD 1, 2, and 3. So very possible that this is all of season 4. I'll have to take a closer look at it to make sure. But if season 4 was maybe not as big, or they're going with more condensed releases period, then maybe this makes sense. New book smell. It's too bad this thing doesn't record. Well, it's a good thing it doesn't. Somali, the forest spirit. I remember seeing this for sale and curiosity. Although I think the issue is it's probably a movie, and I might, because right, that's region A, 12 episodes. Oh, English dub. In a world filled with strange mythical creatures, the rarest and most endangered is the human. Oh, wow. That sounds spooky neat. No, it's English dubbed. I thought it was a movie, maybe. Got 2 discs. Curiosity there. And then last but not least, Skate Leading Stars Blu-ray. Ooh. Artwork of what might be the main character. If it is the main character, it's because he's kind of at the center down there, but it can be hard to tell. This looks like it could also be a teen sort of thing. I don't know that they don't seem to be wearing ice skates. They might be. All I know is this plastic doesn't want to come off. There we go. This one's regions A and B. There's English. See, I hesitate to say, oh yes, it looks like an ice skating thing, just because if it was, then you know, it feels like it almost would have to be compared to Yuri on Ice. Now, I haven't watched Yuri on Ice. I really should watch Yuri on Ice. I wonder. I'm looking at this again and saying, can I fit this in there? Like I sometimes do. It doesn't want to fit. Okay. And let's just leave it here. Here's this week's anime... DVD collection update. Alright. Actually, not a whole lot of anime watched this week. Pretty much only 3 episodes. And there's a couple of reasons for that, but let's talk about those episodes first. And that's just basically things I'm keeping up with. Skeleton Knight from Another World, or Skeleton Knight in Another World. Okay, yes. You know, it's kind of just continuing along, being actually a very pleasant thing to continue watching. There's a little bit of interesting information revealed this one that I don't know if it's relevant to the big picture it's leading towards, but it is still interesting stuff. It's not doing anything too extravagant, but just continuing to be interesting as it goes. And I have hiccups, obviously. I guess they're not keeping what our main character is doing as kind of this one-dimensional track. So, you know, even though they've put him in there as this overpowered character, they have not worn out his the entertainment watching him do stuff. We've met some new characters, technically one new character and another character that we knew about before, but now we've actually gotten to properly meet, and all that stuff's pretty neat. And they're doing something that's... it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Obviously, I watched episode 8 of Spy Family. It continues to be great. I forgot that episode 7 ended at that slight stinger. It's not a stinger as much as a lot of stingers, but so much as a, oh yeah, they're setting up for what the next episode's going to include, and you know, that's good. And it was Yuri, yours brother, and it's like, oh yeah, that's some good stuff. Now, you know, it's I think it was a little lighter on the Anya side of the story, but like I said, one of the nice things about it has just been that the entertaining things about it have not been limited in any way, shape, or form to her. All 3 of them are pretty great. Why am I forgetting Twilight's name? Lloyd. Okay, yeah, Lloyd's been great. Yours been great. Anya's been great. I feel like it continues to be fun. I'm not immediately thinking of anything that just blew me out of the water with this episode, but it says a lot about the series that it continues to be episode even though it's had those blow out of the water moments. So yeah, good stuff. And then you know, earlier today I caught up on episode 9 of Trapped in a Dating Sim, the world of Otome games is hard for a mob. And if there's any criticism I have, it's that I would really like to be seeing the next episode. It's not moving at a bad pace, but it is at this stuff where it's introducing issues and moving through them in a surprisingly smooth way, given how much of a mess that this show kind of presents itself as, but it feels like it's an intentional mess, so it's good and correct in that regard. But if there's anything that's weird about it, it's... So our main character thinks of himself as a mob character, which is basically, you know, just a background character that doesn't even have a name. They don't have any relevance to the plot whatsoever. We watching this obviously know that he has more relevance to the plot than he wants to give himself credit for, but it where was I going with that? I don't know. So it's all 3 of those have been fun episodes. You know, obviously they were go-to to watch, even though I so part of the reason I didn't watch, the 2 main reasons I didn't watch a whole lot of anime this week, one of those is I'm kind of having trouble adjusting to being back. I think I started feeling better maybe yesterday, but not entirely sure. I've been just a lot more exhausted. Like, I felt like I spent most of the weekend wanting to take a nap. And it's not harsh, but it is You know, it slows down you doing a whole lot of other stuff. And the other problem was that Netflix Stranger Things Season 4 Part 1 dropped. And I kind of had this two-way loop that made me go towards. Now, people point out that there was good stinger at the end of Season 3. And I didn't remember that. I guess it kind of reminded me of some of that. But I didn't know if I was specifically looking forward to anything. I was just kind of going into it like, oh, I don't know. Let's just see what Season 4 brings. And even though there were only 7 episodes, they're long. It's a lot of time to dedicate to one thing, and I had that on in the background. And part of the motivation for doing that was I originally didn't think, oh yes, Stranger Things Season 4 was going to come out, that's high priority. But because it was coming out, people were having Friday be Stranger Things Day and Dead by Daylight. So the people who still have the Stranger Things, I say still have, nobody really loses, well, except for people that lose their accounts. So the people that have the Stranger Things content, the idea was to encourage them to play as those characters on that day. And I played 3 or 4 Demogorgon games. But that should kind of show you that even though I had the entire evening to myself, I only had enough energy for 3 or 4 Demogorgon games. But yeah, because I did that, it's like, oh, I guess I should watch it as well. And so now I guess I get to talk to y'all a little bit about that. So I actually think Season 4 is actually pretty positive. I think there's things about it that are definitely a miss. And I'm pretty sure y'all don't remember Season 3 as much as... my discussion about Season 3 as much as I do. And I maybe only remember 1 or 2 thinly veiled concepts that I might have thought about. Like, the things I remember about Season 3 was that there were too many separate plot lines going on that were kind of sort of related to each other, but it did still feel like I was having to track multiple stories at the same time, and it was more than I thought I needed to. And at the same time, there was a kind of campiness, a huge campiness to it. Nothing that necessarily made it bad, but something that probably would feel very different from people who watched the first 2 seasons. Like I mentioned that Seasons 1, 2, and 3 seem to be kind of drifting. And of course getting more complicated because they're introducing more characters and wanting to do something with all the characters because everybody likes all the characters. I mean, we all like all the characters. That's just a fact. And I guess when you get down to the upside down elements, so Season 1, you know, the elements of the upside down were definitely a lot more spooky horror, holy shit, this could be an awesome episode of X-Files sort of stuff, until it turned into monster. But, you know, I think that monster is kind of relevant because there's this overall lifespan of Stranger Things thing to talk about now. But Season 2, I'm not sure if I remember as well, but maybe it was kind of a weakened continuation of Season 1 and wasn't there. Season 3 had horror elements, but I think some of it was kind of grossy biology sort of stuff, kind of leaning, and less spooky. So it's like the kind of horror changed there. And the couple of things about Season 4 that were great is I felt like it leaned more into exploring the lore and ideas of it. And I think there's some mistakes they've made with some of those, but other things that kind of directly address some of the ideas that we were talking about. And I don't know if I want to spoil by talking about some of those ideas they explored, but when you watch Season 4 and they actually explore those, you'll probably say, you know, I was thinking about that. And unfortunately, that also means that you can probably think of some counter examples to the ideas that they're exploring. Not to mention that they kind of get how a light bright works wrong, but it's still neat and a fun idea, and you just say, yeah, whatever. But, you know, you put that aside. Again, you know, that basically means as long as you go in there expecting that, maybe some of the twists will be very twisty. Maybe they won't. They didn't super surprise me. I felt like the show was leaning on the twists a little more heavily than I felt they needed to, because I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured this out at the beginning of the episode. Sorry, show. But, that doesn't necessarily make it bad. And again, that means that, oh, and I didn't mention the important thing, the upside down elements are a little spooky again. Like the way the first couple of episodes go, it's like, well, that's good horror material. When are we getting Dead by Daylight Chapter 2 of Stranger Things? You know, we need to get Chapter 1 back, of course. But that's all notable stuff. And I think, I don't remember how much Seasons 2 and 3 utilized Demogorgon. I think they had some lesser Demodoggo things. But Demogorgon proper, I don't think we'd actually really seen until, you know, since Season 1. And they gave us hints in both advertisements and stuff that we might get to see something in Season 4. And I think I'm willing to say that there is Demogorgon material in there, and you probably want to watch it because it is absolutely fucking glorious. Pretty good stuff. So, you know, overall, Season 4 seems to be doing pretty good for Stranger Things. Especially since, like, when I think of some of the Season 3 stuff, I remember there was also this one side story of Elle just kind of leaving on her own, or was that Stranger Things 2? She just went out and just did some experiment stuff and then came back, and it was just like, I kind of understand why they felt like they needed to do some stuff like that, but it also felt like, I don't know, it didn't feel thematically in the right place, whereas everything in Season 4 kind of has. With the characters' ups and downs and upside downs and sideways and lefts and rights, and about the only thing that's there is ever still slightly that idea that, okay, so why is it these kids are the ones dealing with this again? Like, Season 3 took it so for granted that they were basically fighting Russians. You know, Russian soldiers invading their town. You know, there can't be elements to that. But, while this one isn't anywhere near that, it's still one of those things where you're like, why can't we get somebody else competent on here? Why haven't we gotten somebody else competent on here yet? I can think of some things they would need to try to do. But, yeah. All cool stuff. Yeah. Hopefully y'all got whatever impression I needed y'all to get about Stranger Things Season 4. Outside of that, Dead by Daylight has been a high priority. I should play a little Dead by Daylight, just because there's a blood hunt that wraps up tomorrow morning, afternoonish, which basically means extra blood points, which is just, you know, good for stuff. Although, I guess I'm not going to participate in it for this, but that's fine. Extra blood points is nice, but I do need to go slow because ideally I want the Prestige rework to come out. And for those of you who are familiar with Dead by Daylight and don't know, basically you've been able to prestige your characters forever. It's given questionable things so that some people feel like they should never prestige, and the developers wanted to make people feel like they could prestige a character, and they should prestige a character. And the couple things a Prestige rework will do is help getting perks on characters if you prestige characters, and also make it where you don't lose all your stuff. So that means that for all these killers that I'm planning to prestige 3, I'll probably still get them to prestige 3 because that's the right target. But it makes sense to see if I can save a lot of them till then, because a lot of them have perk combinations that I really like. Even if they're not the perfect one, like Sadako, I would kind of like her to have Fire Up instead of Agitation, because I just want her to just and destroy everything really fast. I love her animations. So I do it like this, like she's Nemesis, but she's more like psychic powers. I kind of want that, but faster. So, You know, I would have liked that on her, but yeah, she doesn't have that. But the perks she does have are pretty great. I enjoy playing with them. They're fun. They're not meta. It's like brutal strength to destroy things faster. I mean, yeah, it's not particularly meta. But when the prestige system comes out, I could prestige all my killers because they're all at level 50, waiting for me to start going down this prestige path. That will unlock absolutely all perks, all unlockable perks on all killers, and the ones with these good perks get to keep them. So I need to slow down. And the other thing that is slowing me down a bit, mostly today, is VR Chat came out with an update. And, you know, they've been coming out with updates. And Fizzbone stuff I've been needing to get to. And I need to get in there and figure out how to make the shaders behave the way they're going to want them to behave long term. Because if I remember correctly, short term they don't need them. But long term, eventually shaders are going to be locked down to only things that can do that stuff, I think. So I need to understand that a bit more. But, you know, I haven't gone down that path. But the tiny thing they did that's a super huge deal to me is... avatars have 128 bytes of data that is synced between all of the VRChat server client instances. So that would be where you'd put things to configure the avatar to do stuff or things like that. And you know, 128, it's pretty great. I've created some avatars, and there's a couple of them that fill up a whole lot of their parameter stuffs that I switch between. They're highly utilitarian in different ways. One of them has a lot of useful in-game tools such as lights and flying and remote controlled cameras, teleporters, seats, fun things. Whereas the other one has a lot of very different variations of my avatar visually speaking, so I'm able to, you know, mix and match and switch and all that stuff. And once they announced that this max parameter size is doubled, I was thinking I could work on combining those two avatars. 6 hours gone today doing that. Not even necessarily finishing that, just doing that. It may be close enough that it may actually be usable as a mix, although if that is the case, then I'm going to have to figure out what picture I'm going to take and all that stuff. It'll be things to figure out. It's all fine. Huh. Oh, there's thoughts. Okay. And who knows how much more time. I don't know what I'll do. The other possibility is that even though I talked about how I was feeling better yesterday, you know, it could very easily just be a blood sugar thing and maybe a lot of sleeping, and I ended up with a lot of time yesterday with blood sugar at maybe the right level. Or maybe it has nothing to do with blood sugar, and maybe it really has to do with sleep and the fact that I still got up early even though I was off of work for Memorial Day. Still got up early in order to put the beef stew in the slow cooker. So I don't know. That's all stuff. I think at this point I've babbled on about all the stuff that maybe y'all don't care as much about. In which case, y'all have a nice week.